Can you think of an anime that you were convinced was not going to continue, and then somehow, some way, it continued? But it didn't do that once, but twice. And against all odds, against so many people telling you it's a mid-show, oh, the production sucks, just read the manga, the anime rose from the grave and said, not today, motherfucker. But let me add one last question. Has there been an anime that just continues to get slammed against all fucking odds and still manages to come out on top? Because that's what a show called To Your Eternity does. Because that's what this show right here does to your eternity. No matter how many times you bring him down, he comes back up. But I want to tell you a little story about how the Olympics nearly killed this anime. Now, I used to talk about To Your Eternity every single week. I did it for months and months and months. Season 1 and 2 loved it. And then Season 3, you know what? The fans didn't turn up. But I've been enjoying it every single week. We watch it every week over on Patreon. Full live reactions over there. We cover it in that deep analytical content. We break down frame by frame. Of course. But here's the thing. At one point during this anime season, it disappeared. Which, hey, that's normal. Sometimes my boy, he gets thrown down. A little bit of a break. I'm okay with that. But then 2 weeks goes by. Fushi? Fushi, where'd you go? Okay, but week 3. And he still wasn't here. And you know what happened? The motherfucking Olympics decided to slap its dick on the table and push To Your Eternity out of its time slot for 3 goddamn weeks. So it was basically gone for a month. And hey, you know me, number 1 To Your Eternity Glazer. I'm going to come back and I'm going to be talking about the greatness. And it has been good the past couple of episodes. Actually, quite exceptional. Man. I felt like it didn't really get a lot of discussion online. Like, I still was peeking some threads, still peeking some thoughts on To Your Eternity week by week. And I just feel like whatever remaining slimmer of hope of popularity it had has just, it's gone down the drain, man. Now, I don't really know what Japan thinks of this. From my understanding, and if the past is to be believed, Japan loves this shit. So I'm sure they're still eating it up. Unfortunately, I don't speak Japanese, and I'm not on Japan's Twitter. So I can't see what they're going up to right now. But man, to see such an amazing season. Now, the season isn't without its faults. It had a bit of a bumpy path. I'd say like a third of the way in. But it corrected course very easily. We'll briefly touch upon that later. But I just want to highlight the fact that if you're wanting an anime that isn't afraid to pull its punches, isn't afraid to hurt you, and to be honest, I would probably argue Season 3 turned into the most bloody season. Not in the way that it's just constantly gore porn, but more of like whenever crazy shit like a school exploding happens, it's reasonable. The thing that I was really excited about with To Your Eternity this time around, because To Your Eternity, the basis of the story was Season 1, an organism takes a form of an animal, and then over time it takes more forms of things that it bonds with, and it's set very much in the past. And then Season 2, still in the past, but, you know, much more modern than we were initially. Season 3, we're properly in our day and age, but with a world that's been adjusted to having roots every which way, because the main character, for thousands of years, took it upon himself to connect himself to every nook and cranny of the world, because in doing so, he can protect it at a moment's notice. It's really cool seeing a modern setting. Now, there's definitely things I wish I would have seen more of. I thought with modern settings, we would have probably dealt with nuclear warfare or bombs or something. I figured for sure, you know, the concept of Fushi would have been enough for the CIA to come and knock. And granted, they did cover their ass with that pretty well. Because you have this character here, Bond. He has connections to, like, the whole fucking world, it feels like. And his people could probably buy off as much as you need. Also, the fact that the concept of the world being a little weird is probably something they've grown accustomed to because of Fushi's connections all throughout the world. There's actually some plot points where some people are like, we need to tear up the roots, they're not needed, they're evil, and then Bond will get up there on TV and be like, this fucking idiot. So it's actually kind of clever. So while it didn't exactly go where I was expecting, they still managed to create a really compelling season. And this girl right here is a big reason why this season worked. The thing about To Your Eternity is there's no anime better than To Your Eternity when it comes to crazy exes. There is a very famous scene, I think it's in the first season, where Fushi basically was like, I want nothing to do with you, and we're in the middle of God knows where, on two separate boats, and he just slowly kicks himself away and's like, fuck off. That's basically the energy. Because the descendants of the Hayase bloodline have continuously fucked us over, and this one, there's now been 2 moments where we could have made sure this bloodline never continues. The first time is when we save their life when they're ready to off themselves, and the second time comes with the latest episode where she actually ripped Bozo and we bring her back. Really hoping this doesn't bite us in the ass if we see that season 4, the final season, because this bloodline has continued to fuck around and find out so much, but she's a fucking crazy menace, man. Like, to just see how everything clicks more and more as we get deeper into these episodes. And the thing is I remember when people used to bitch and moan about production. Like, people used to be like, oh my god, it's such a mid-anime. And I'm not saying season 1 and season 2 were like the Sakuga Demon Slayer of the season, but I thought it always had very similar to Dr. Stone. It had a style and it knew how to utilize that style. And while, yes, it wasn't the crispest thing ever, I never thought the show looked ugly. It just had a very unique, distinct style that doesn't conform to standard anime, I guess, art aesthetics. With season 3, though, it's definitely a lot better. And I've really enjoyed this plotline and seeing how crazy she could go off the rails and how far she would go. And while it was frustrating when I saw her rise back up towards the very end of the latest episode, it was probably the appropriate thing. I mean, the only way to break generational trauma is to give them a second chance, I guess. I don't know, man. It's one of those shows that can make you frustrated, but it's like, yes, there was a brief moment where there was a character who they could have wrote it way better than they did. It was this guy right here in the stupid ass hat and should he be around school coat. So early into the show of season 3, he's just a fucking creep, man. Like, it's very much the PDF arc. Does he ever actually do anything? No, but he's the type of guy who makes it feel like he was going to wait for his sister to come of age. And she was like 4 years old, or 6 or 8. And it was a really weird arc because I feel like there was just a very easy, like, he doesn't actually do anything, and he's actually wholesome in later episodes. So maybe you can make the argument it's, you know, we're wrong about this opinion, blah, 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 which a lot of people did not like his character. The thing is there's a very easy way to rewrite his character and have pretty much everything stay the same, but he would have been so much better. Just simply do a thing of people assume he's creepy, but he himself never does anything weird towards his new little sister. And then when the little sister dies, it hurts him, so then he tries to rise above and get revenge. You could literally keep everything the same, but instead, all of his magazines in the room look like they're borderline illegal. And he says really weird things. And it's like, why did you need to do that? For a damn near 10 out of 10 show, it was the first time in a long time I ever was like, I don't want this in my 2-year eternity. But besides that, the show has been actually really fucking good. And it's a damn shame that, like, I get it. Like, anytime you come back from a season break, who knows how many of those old fans will come back to talk with it. But the thing about it is that I just feel like the Olympics, which I get it. Hey, it's a big sporting event, whatever. I don't give a fuck about it. But I understand the importance to the vast world. My opinion does not represent the vast majority. The popular opinion is the Olympics matter. Go ahead for it. Congrats on your medals, whatever. But 3 fucking weeks? That's just blasphemy, man. But let me know what you've been thinking of 2-year eternity. I think, man, I feel like the latest episode could have been a season finale, and we still got some episodes left. But you can let me know what you've been thinking of 2-year eternity. I've been loving it. I cover it every week on Patreon, like I said. But I had to give one last thoughts on this. I mean, a couple of you been asking, but barely any of you have, and it breaks my heart because this still is one of my favorite anime for sure. I've been saying that since season 1, and I hope to be saying it all the way to season 4 if we get blessed with it. Thoughts down below, drop a like, share, support, subscribe, ring that bell, and yes, Patreon for live reactions over there, and other exclusives, because, you know, I got to give those video shoutouts to my patrons, because they're why you can get videos like this at all. Alright, so today I've got Marco Sun, here in 12, Sean Cafferkey, Ryan Kahalili, Jessica L. Compton, Ishta, Mav, Jarl Brawlgrowth, Omar, Jay Vorty, and Daniel Koskell. So I appreciate the support. Please take care. You know, have a good one.